Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Yeah, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Friday KVJ After the Show Podcast. Yeah, big old weekend going on. We got Bird's birthday that's going to be going down. Kind of getting the birthday bash going. Your official birthday on Monday, but party happens this weekend. In fact, somebody texted in and said they're very excited for Jay Bird's party since we got his address now. What time exactly does it start? Need to know when to show up.
6 p.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, 6 p.
Okay.
He doesn't really know because it's kind of all a surprise for him. In fact, I don't think you are going to be there when the whole thing's getting set up, so it's going to be a surprise.
So what the fuck's going on? Are we setting up trampolines? What's going on?
I can't tell you. I've been sworn to secrecy. Okay, for $5, I'll tell you.
You never keep secrets.
I know.
If I really wanted to get it out of her, I could.
Yeah, you're just along for the ride, though.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
All I gotta do is feed her
She's
some
dying to tell
liquor,
you.
just throw a couple beers down her pie hole.
I don't do well with secrets.
Any idea how many people are going to be at this party at your house?
No clue.
No clue.
85.
Okay. So,
Well, the last...
any
No.
chances you could get trashed, or is it?
No,
No
there's
chances.
nothing.
Until a bunch of listeners start texting out your address.
Well, I think most people would be cool. 85% of our audience is awesome. 15% are dick faces. Those are just numbers.
15%
Yeah.
can wreck a house.
They would want to. They would think it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It usually takes just one asshole, and then they start just trashing a place.
It doesn't take much for someone to ruin a good time. That is what sucks. That's why people hate terrorists, because it's not that many, but they fuck it up for so many people.
Don't worry. If anybody comes in your party looking to start shit, I'll finish it.
I know. I texted Kevin that you are the one I'm worried about. No, I'm kidding.
I'm the bouncer.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is to see a drunk, protective Virginia
Oh,
try
that's going to be fun.
to protect me.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be fun. I can't wait for the stories on Monday.
Well, the last time he had a bunch of people over, there was a former wrestler.
Yeah, well, it gets out of hand real quick. You just think you have a couple people coming over.
They each bring a friend.
Yeah, and WWE former champion was in my house.
How cool is that?
It's really cool.
Yeah.
From the Headbangers. That's the name of his tag team.
Yeah. Okay. I do remember the name, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't even a massive wrestling fan. That is very cool. Got this nice email from Laura about your Mother's Day song. Said, Jay Bird, thank you for that wonderful song you guys played this morning. My mom had passed away in January of this year, and this would be my first Mother's Day without her. I needed to hear that heartfelt song. While it made me cry, it also made me feel that there are many other people without their moms as well this year, too. So I will be okay.
I'll light a candle for you, too.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice.
That first year is rough, man. I understand your pain.
Yeah.
You'll get through it. Time is your best friend.
Yeah.
You know, the sadness, I think, is replaced with you thinking about memories. Not to say you don't get sad about that kind of stuff, but you do.
How long, if you had to say, 'cause if she's going through this, be like, okay, is it year 2? Is it year 3? Like, when do I start? When Mother's Day comes up, I'm like, wow, I'm flooded with good memories. And
Yeah, for me, it took me a good solid 2 years not to be. I mean, I was in a severe depression after my mom died.
Yeah.
It was tough because I didn't feel like being on the air. You know, you have to still try to be goofy and funny, and I wasn't feeling real goofy, and I was drinking a lot and kind of, you know, doing.
when did you slow down drinking a lot?
It never stopped.
He called you out during your sad moment.
Sorry.
This motherfucker.
This funny fucker.
Well, that just shows you how bad of a problem I have.
7 years later.
Well, you've seen me when I was happy, and I was drinking a lot then. So imagine when heartbreak hits the bird's world. I probably drank more through Chewy's death, honestly.
Damn. Why are they all dying?
They're all fucking. Stay away from me. You get close to the bird, you die.
I don't know how I'm still alive.
Damn. Dead man walking.
Okay.
I've thought about that before. Like, damn,
You think it's you?
No. I mean, I've only had Chewy, my mom, and Aunt Ann. Fuck, that's a lot. No. There are other people who have it way worse, man.
Yeah.
There's always a sadder fish in the pond.
You're right.
Got an email from Sarah here talking about rapids and fat kids on water slides. I used to know all about that, man. That's when I was in prime water slide age when I was my fattest, and it was tough. It was tough being a fat kid on a water slide. She said, I used to be a lifeguard at the Rapids back in 2005, first lifeguarding job at the ripe old age of 16. Regarding the weight limits and weighing people or informing them of the weight limits before they get on the rides, that was my terror. Was I would be getting up there and you would be with, maybe a group of friends and there'd be girls. I'm like, oh my gosh, are they going to let my fat ass on this water slide? I'd had moments where it was like, and they'll pull you aside and be like, yeah, we need to wait. And your friends are going, just terrible.
Especially back in the
Terrible.
80s when they didn't give a fuck at all about feelings.
No, they didn't care about my
They didn't
feelings. They loved it. They laughed at it, especially the girls. He's so fat. He can't go down the slide. Oh, just terrible. I mean, all the memories are rushing back now. Fat
Kids are mean as
Terrible.
fuck, man.
Terrible,
The mean
yeah.
ones are mean.
You're right.
She said they had me at the bottom of a newly opened slide on the South Tower before the expansion, legit weighing people who looked over 250 pounds. At the time, I was a teeny tiny 5'9", 115-pound female lifeguard. I cannot express enough how uncomfortable this was. People would get so pissed and start yelling at me. I was unfortunately just doing my job. The managers and supervisors would watch us to make sure that we were weighing people. It's disgusting. But they do that for safety reasons. There was an incident at the Rapids years ago where some riders had to be backboarded out of a slide because the total weight of the raft was too high and it flipped.
Oh, wow.
Please keep in mind, the vast majority of the lifeguards that work at the Rapids are high school students just trying to make some summer cash. It's uncomfortable for everyone, especially kids, to tell adults that they're too large to safely ride a slide.
When you are a kid, especially a teenager, even, as early as 14 or 15, and you have to tell an adult to do something and you're in charge,
Yeah.
it's so intimidating. Had to do the same thing when I was an umpire. I was 14 or 15, and I'd have to go tell grown-ass men, and they'd be smoking in the dugout. Like, sir, you can't smoke in the dugout. Leave me alone.
Right, yeah.
Then I'd have to throw them out of the game.
Well, you see it now all the time with masks. These poor
Yeah.
people that have to enforce some kind of mask ordinance, and they're like, look, they're just telling me what to do.
I'm a clerk.
Yeah.
I'm 19. I don't
Yeah.
want to yell at a 48-year-old angry woman.
And I
Put
don't make
people in
enough
weird
money
spots.
either.
Right.
You
yeah.
do not make enough money.
Yeah, and luckily we seem to be getting into that era now where, hey, when you go out there, you just got to be ready after what DeSantis has done, that people just may not legit have masks on. And, there's confusion today. Virginia helped clear it up for me. Where I had gone on the website for the South Florida Fair, and they'd said that, you have to have masks on unless you're eating or drinking. But I guess on their social media, they had changed it. And so it's
They just did.
just optional. So, keep that in mind if you're going to South Florida Fair, wherever you're set. And, good for them in the sense where it's like nobody's going to have to uncomfortably try to police that. It's if you're comfortable wearing a mask, you feel like you should, you wear it, but if not, so go out there knowing that you're likely going to see a lot of maskless people at the South Florida Fair.
Well, when we were at the Kennel Club, we saw a lot of KVJ Nationers, and a lot of them would just come up and hug without masks on. So I think we're at that point where if you go out there, expect that kind of energy.
Sure. And you can wear a mask. If you're not comfortable, wear one. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to be around people and possibly get infected and you're not vaccinated, wear a mask if it makes you happy. And don't wear one if it doesn't make you happy. Just don't fight, please, in the street.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong, but most people who are fair people who go to the fair, they're not wearing a fucking mask.
Yeah, no, they're not. I was just looking at this, where Americans are set. Florida's going to be even different than the rest of America because, state by state depends. Florida is a lot more liberal when it comes to not wearing masks. But oddly enough, it's the conservatives that are doing that. 49% of Americans say that people should continue wearing masks in public even after they've been fully vaccinated. And they asked, well, what if they have antibodies? A majority, 54%, said yes, compared to 35% who said no. So that's where Americans are set on wearing masks in public places. And so the question is, and this will be interesting, especially for our New Yorkers, July 1st, they pretty much are going to be opening up New York City again. Which will probably mean an influx, for us. We'll probably see more people here until July 1st that, typically might be back in New York already this time of year. And that storm probably drove at least 10 people home yesterday. 1/3 said 6 months to a year, followed by 30% who said less than 6 months on wearing the mask. 10% said at least another 18 months. 6% of people are saying we never should take masks off. 6% say that. So.
That's a low percentage.
It's a choice.
It is. Got an interesting follow-up here from Richard, who was offering up that sex doll.
Oh, this is the one he wanted me to have sex with.
Well, he had a sex doll if you wanted it. It's in storage, a storage unit next to the bowling alley in Jupiter. And he said that it's so heavy that he would have to put it in a wheelchair to bring it to you.
Yeah, that's got so many levels of serial killer.
It's layers of creepy and awesome.
So if he watched me have sex with that doll, that's a cuckolding situation?
Well, I don't know if I don't want to put him in this situation. I'm not sure if he wants to see you banging the sex doll.
He didn't ask to see you,
Yeah,
but
I was
are you
gonna say.
volunteering to let him stick around?
I didn't think it went that way.
I'm connecting the dots, y'all. This guy is one email away from a cuckold.
Okay, so you're reading into it thinking he just wants to wheel that thing out.
And it sounds like you're kind of okay with it.
I'm just having some fun on a Friday.
Richard had said here, he said, I am a property manager, and the backstory of this sex doll. In 2018, I get a call early in the morning from the PSL Police Department about an FDB, and I needed to show up ASAP.
FDB.
Now, not knowing what an FDB is, I get there as fast as I can, and upon arrival, I see crime scene tape and about 10 officers, all with smiles. Confused, I approach the scene and the officers. Well, an FDB is a fake dead body, or in this case, a naked sex doll dumped in the bushes.
Oh.
From a distance, it's going to look like a victim.
Totally.
So I signed the release, and I was asked to remove the doll and hold it for 90 days. So here I am with all these onlookers lifting a heavy doll out of the bushes and haul it to my car. Needless to say, she was not claimed and became a Halloween prop. Every year I throw a party and I see if there are any takers wanting to give her a ride. That is until last year when the kids figured out what it was and stripped her costume off for a round of touchy-feely looky time.
Oh, man. So they found it?
In the bushes.
Did they...
in Port St. Lucie.
Did somebody explore the doll's bushes, if you know what I mean?
I don't know if anybody has humped this doll, but I think he's trying to get somebody to do that. That's why he came to us.
He wants us to break this seal. All right, sudden death, because Virginia can't do it. Me.
She could. I mean, she could.
Well, you could. Yeah, I guess you could get in the... Well, I just meant she can't do it because she doesn't do sudden death. She can have sex with the doll, yes.
Okay.
She just doesn't do sudden death.
Gotcha, okay.
And the loser has to bang the doll.
Yeah, why not?
But it's on the After the Show podcast, so we legally can do it without an FCC. I'm guaranteeing you, Kevin, we'd get a lot of viewers.
Well, I don't know. Can you just actually have robot doll sex right on YouTube without them saying anything about that?
I think you can if you don't show your peen. If we don't see Ralston's rod, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's some sex stuff
a
on
reverse shot.
Because they can't prove if you. Yeah, we just can't show insertion. I believe that would be the rule. No nakedness, no insertion.
Well, what fun is that? Really?
Now we're just doing a soft core.
Yeah, can you tell me which day this is? Because I'm calling sick.
You're right. It's a terrible idea.
It's a used sex doll that somebody threw away because they apparently had their fill of it, or it had their fill of them.
We can't take this doll. We can't have it.
Yeah, it's a lot of reasons why it's going to be bad.
I would like to see us carry it into the building and just get a reaction of people's faces.
I think it's a great prop.
Yeah.
And good fun.
We should get, okay.
But we can't, no one can fuck it.
No, we're kidding around. No one's fucking the doll. Come on, guys. Give me a break.
Got a question here. Probably need to grab Suits on this. We'll answer some questions. People regard Suits as an authority when it comes to
fucking the doll?
We're moving on.
Oh, okay.
Cruising. But I don't know. I don't want to speak for him.
Virginia wants to keep it going.
Yes, I can see that.
She's the one complaining about it and she wants to keep it going.
Uh-huh.
I like to mess with your mind.
Mm-hmm. It is about cruising. Michael had sent the email and he said, are we allowed to travel on a cruise from Florida without the vaccine now?
So it's still up in the air. The cruise lines are talking about trying to do it with vaccinated passengers. And the CDC released new guidelines that apparently weren't really workable for the cruise lines. I saw a lot of drama around that from the CEOs speaking out. But the issue is we in the state, I don't think, can ask, because Ron DeSantis had signed a bill that basically said we couldn't ask about those vaccine passports. But the CDC says cruise lines need 95% vaccinated passengers and 98% vaccinated crew to sail. So I would imagine that even if they restart soon, if that stays in place, you're not going to see cruises from Florida. They're going to be in other states.
Yeah, these are the kind of numbers that, if you want to get out there and start doing these kind of things, to pay attention to, because, the more that I read about it now is they're saying that we need to hit about 80% of herd immunity, and we're at about 44% between vaccinations and antibodies, and 30% of the U.S. population is still reluctant to even do that. And they're saying there's going to be holdouts where there's going to be people that will never do the vaccination. And so... yeah, I don't know what happens with those numbers then.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I would imagine if you're going to cruise at any point soon, you're going to need a vaccine. I don't think you're going to be able to get on a cruise ship soon without it.
So then what does that do about taking cruises out of Florida then? If you got a button of heads here, right?
That's what I'm waiting to see what happens. Cruising is restarting in July, but from the Bahamas and from St. Martin and Jamaica, they're going outside of the country where they're not going to be regulated by Florida's rules. Now, Texas and Florida are big cruise ports. That could be a problem. You wonder if New York, California, if those places might actually get cruising before we do, because they're going to probably allow the vaccine cards.
Now, what does this do for the KVJ Tom Cruise cruise? Does this affect us in any way?
Absolutely not.
Which, by the way, we need to get our shit together on that.
I agree. Well, the Hakuna Matata is going to be sailing for Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
I think the Hakuna Matata is good.
They are operational, and that says to me we could do anything.
Yeah.
Are we all going to get vaccinated on this show?
Well, I'm getting my second shot this coming week.
Okay.
So I'll be good to go on Wednesday.
That's good. Good for you.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still waiting to see what's going on. I'm going to go do an antibody test first, see where it is.
Let them stick you, Bert.
I don't care. Yeah, if I got to get vaccinated to make people get off my ass, I don't have a dog in this fight. Sure, whatever you want to do. I don't care. I just want to do the Tom Cruise cruise. If that means I got to get a needle in my dick, that's fine.
No one's sticking anything in your dick.
I know.
It goes in your arm.
I know that. Why did I overanalyze the joke?
Yeah, you got a lot of people who are kind of on the fence about those. They say 1 in 3 American adults right now claim that they will not get vaccinated or aren't sure what they will do. So I think a lot of people are still kind of in that hovering pattern about where I am. And I'm not necessarily I'm not hard stance against no way. But I'm not skipping out to get it right at this second.
All I want is to do the Tom Cruise cruise without people on my ass about shit that's not about the Tom Cruise cruise. That's what I want. So whatever I got to do to make that happen, and we all can just get down and have a fun time and feel the need for some speed.
Well, your ass is fun to ride, first of all. A lot of people like to give you shit. It's fun.
Well, no, I'm just talking about just the whole vaccine. People like to call everyone out on their morals and all. Oh, you fucking fuckface, you fuck. All right. I don't care what you do. I want to have a good time with you is what I'm saying.
When is that Tom Cruise movie, have they said?
I think it's July 4th weekend. July 2nd, I think it comes out.
It's very
But then
America.
I think maybe I saw it was moved back to November. I think that was originally when they're going to do it, so I think it's now November.
Shit.
Yeah.
What size are you wearing, Kev? Well, you don't have to tell me now if you're not comfortable with it. I don't know if people are weird about their sizes, but I want to get you a Top Gun jacket.
Oh, yeah. Probably large on that.
Okay, all right. 2 larges. I like it.
Somebody in the chat room saying, why doesn't Kev want to get the vaccine? I'm not saying that, right now I'm not or that I don't want to. I just, there's new stories coming out every day, and I'm waiting to see what's going on here.
Oh, you're going to get, people will be
I don't
like,
give a fuck. You can go ahead and come at me. I'm sitting here reading about it. I'm trying to figure out what's up, what's right for me. So
Well, Sinicki's-
you do you, I'm doing me.
Sinicki started the whole thing with, oh, y'all going to be vaccinated for the Tom Cruise. I'm over here.
Yeah.
Good time Johnny over here.
Yeah.
Talking about Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I want to see. Well, the one thing I take very seriously too is immune health. I really look into that. So I'm trying to read all the different studies, and I'm getting stuff from both sides, good, bad, trying to figure out what I want to do for my body long term. So, and is it something that I would do every single year? I don't get the flu shot every year. So would I go out and get the COVID shot every year? I don't know. We'll see where it is.
Do you hear that, Virginia?
Go ahead. Bring it.
People typing emails to Kevin.
Bring it. I'll go delete. Yeah, I care about health. I care about people. I'll do what's right for me. Let's get off my fucking ass. So anyway, that is a big question. I did see, too, that, they were saying that more than 100 U.S. colleges will require in-person students to be vaccinated. I don't know how that's going to fly in Florida, if any, UF wants to do that, or Florida State. I don't know.
Well, then that would go against the DeSantis law
Yeah.
that he laid down.
Imagine that. There's some confusion.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. And, I think my family, I think we're all kind of sad. It just... Nobody's necessarily opposed. My son has gotten the vaccine. He got his first one, Colin. He's all big onto it. And it's weird because he has a twin sister, and she's like, I don't think I'm going to do it. And she's just not motivated. And then something came up. It's like, well, what if there's a big concert? You want to go to Tortuga? She's like, oh, I get the vaccine. So
Let's talk about Tortuga.
Yeah. So
It's a rager.
I think it's probably where the Ralstons are set, It just hasn't really hit us to, we're motivated enough yet. But as time goes on, I'm sure we'll have a motivator. So we'll probably be there eventually. We move slowly. Let me see here. Got a couple other emails here. Monica said, happy 97.9 anniversary, KVJ. I've been listening since high school, and when your show came back on the air, I was pregnant with my son. I put headphones around my belly so that he could hear because I was so overjoyed.
Aww.
My son, Justin, is now 6.5. The Chapman family loves you. That is Monica who sent that in. And thank you for reminding me. Yeah, it is the KVJ anniversary today of May 7th in 1999. That's where Virginia and I started off this show. So today, this is 22 years of us doing the show.
You old?
Yeah, we are. Very old.
Damn, 22 years. You old fucks.
That's a long time.
That's a lot for one area. That really is a long time. And radio, not many people do that.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So
We only got fired once.
We only got fired once. You're right.
So far. The final tally is yet to be rung up.
We will be fired again. So at some point in our career.
Possibly more than once more.
You're right.
So.
If we get fired, we're not giving up, though.
No, you can't kill this.
No, you can't.
It's like herpes. We're coming back.
We'll be zombie KVJ. You can't
Zombie
get rid of this.
KVJ. I love it.
Got an email from Astra. She had said, hey, first of all, happy Mother's Day to Vicious V and happy Friday.
Oh, thank you.
Kevin, you know that I've been a loyal listener for 20 plus years, and I still enjoy listening every morning on YouTube or the podcast app. I had another question for you today. Since my wife and I subscribe to you on podcast app, it kind of gives us suggestions to listen to other radio stations every now and then. So I check them out to see what they sound like. Something that I do find is is most of the radio stations do bits like War of the Roses or Second Date Update, and it is almost like every episode, which I think is a lot for a small town radio station. My question is, why do you guys not have bits like that? Not saying that you need to, but I was just curious. And also, those local radio stations have that many bad dates or cheaters that they can do those many bits back to back almost every week. I almost feel like they have people calling almost like staged, since I cannot believe those small city radio stations have those many heartbroken stories. LOL. Just wanted to know Kev's point of view on that. Yeah, when it comes to segments that we do, and benchmarks, to me, I prefer to do ones that I think are very unique to us and that fit our show. I think KVJ, we're an oddball kind of different show, and we need to do things that reflect that. I think that to me, it's a great thing. It's what I love about being a part of this show. And it's no comment on any shows that are doing those bits. That's great, and they believe in them. And honestly, they test very well. Audiences love all those bits. They do very well. When we went to Miami, they couldn't believe we didn't do those bits, and they wanted us to do those bits. They were saying, well, you guys don't have a Second Date Update. Where's your War of the Roses? These are the things that the audience really wants. But it just doesn't really fit our style. To us, we do producer Denny's Knows When You're High, and, joke juries, and Denny's Are Animals, and, all those other bits that we do on the show that I think fits us, fits our unique personality and character. And, the other thing in the state of Florida, too, we've got laws about calling. So phone scams, we can't legally do those because you would have to start the call with, hey, just to let you know, you're being recorded for a radio bit right now. Are you okay with that?
And it's going to be broadcast.
And they would have to say, yes, okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah, hey, Mrs. Schmana, this is fra. And you're like, wait, what? What's going on here? You're now trying to punk me after telling me this is a scam?
You can't punk somebody if you tell them it's a scam on the front end.
Yeah. So, that really put a wrinkle in that. And we have done some, and I've kind of confessed to that, every now and then we do kind of tiptoe on the line a little bit. We used to do prank calls with Jason's family. I've done them with other family members because we know they wouldn't turn around and report us and sue us.
You can punk your close friends and family, but you can't punk strangers.
Well, we had it for a while, and we stopped doing it because we weren't getting too many submissions, but I think you're still into, if you have somebody that in your family we could prank, we could possibly go around it that way. If someone's in on the joke, and let's say someone in the chat room goes, oh, my mom would be great to prank, my family's in on this, go ahead. We've done that before, too, which kind of gets us around that legal stuff.
Right. Nothing would hit the airways until we get permission, and it's still, it's a gray area.
It's still, technically you're still...
Yeah, you're still...
You're not supposed to record anybody without their knowledge.
Technically, and so then technically you're breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Which I have done many a time.
Yeah, I think we all have.
Yeah, so we just because... people are more aware of that, and it's getting more dangerous, and the lawsuits are massive, and the fines are very huge.
And when you work for a big company, people love to sue a big company.
Right, yeah, and that's why it's not. And like I said, on top of it, we got other stuff to do, and there's so many other shows that do it. That God bless them, some of them do it very well. Their phone scams are great. Their War of the Roses are great. Their Second Date Updates are great, and I don't know how every show does it, so I can't comment on that.
You also know too, me and Virginia don't really feel, especially some of it's the same thing every time. And if if the people on the air's hearts aren't into it, you're going to hear that.
Yeah.
Especially with me and her, we can't really hide.
We got other things that, that we're more into. So that's why we don't. There are services that do provide scripts and actors and things like that to act, those things out. And so some may use it. I don't know. And some
are definitely not real. There's no way.
Yeah. I like I said, I don't keep an inventory of who does what. From show to show and how they do it, that's their own thing. And like I said, they're bits that they test well and they like doing them, and it brings them great success. And
how the fuck
more power to them.
How the fuck do you not know? Oh yeah, let me give these roses. Oh yeah, look at my mistress. Oh yeah, give it to her.
Every time.
Every fucking time.
How many years we gonna do this?
And nobody knows about these roses.
You guys haven't heard of War of the Roses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our audience is really good because they are to a point now. I think they're trained that they send us stories when something happens in their life, and I love that because it gives us an ongoing saga. I mean, the one with the mom who was dating the baseball coach. her ex-husband was very protective, and they got into a fight. Was it like Wellington?
Wellington, yeah.
They got into a fight, and we read that email, and somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, this has to be."
You said it's in Wellington.
Yeah. They're like, "This has to be Wellington," because there was a massive fight at the ball field with this exact same situation happen, and sure enough, and she's like, "Yeah, that was me," and everything worked out in that. But to me, that's better drama. There's especially in South Florida, there's so much real drama anyway. That send us that stuff. I love doing it. We'll try to keep you anonymous and protect you as much as we can.
Totally.
So.
If you don't want your name on the radio, we won't put it on.
Yeah.
We can tell your story for you too.
Yeah. So that intrigues me more. So I can only really talk about KVJ, and I only am comfortable really talking about what we do. We don't do that because it's not good to us and for us. But other shows that do, I know that it works very well for them. So, good for them. And I'm thankful we're not in a situation where we have bosses that are trying to cram those bits down our throat again.
Thank God.
And now where I am now, I'd just be like, we're not doing it.
Yeah, because I
just
could
go on ahead, save us a lot of time and agony and fire us right
It
now.
just feels inauthentic.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of copy and paste stuff. Every fucking station does that. That's what I hated about Miami. They wanted us to do copy and paste, and I don't like it.
I think the audience deserves original material.
Well, they wanted there are a lot of kind of cookie cutter shows out there. They're doing a lot of the same, and they really. What happened was the guy that hired us liked our originality. And he's like, you guys are doing stuff that not a lot of shows do, and I find you entertaining. He personally liked our show, and then he left 3 days later.
He hired us and quit the same week.
And then the new people that came in said, oh, no, we need to have one of those cookie cutter kind of shows. That's what we're looking for, and you guys need to become a cookie cutter show.
And we'd also like you to be Latin.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, shit.
That was an issue because I'm not Latin.
I barely am Latin. I got like 13% Mexican blood, but can't really pass.
Yeah. Actually, it said, I hear people stealing material from other people's shows all the time. It's probably the higher-ups that make them do that. Part of that, too, and I've talked to that, give you guys kind of full disclosure what happens. I do have several shows that I'm good friends with across the country that I admire, and I think that they're good and they're very creative. It is a lot for us to create a lot of content. And so the email, excuse me.
You okay?
He gets choked up about talking about other radio shows. War of the Roses does this too.
He gets choked up when he has to tell secrets and show emotion.
Well, what'll happen is, talking, not my strength. And, for instance, I was telling you the other day that baseball email I was just talking about from Wellington, I had sent that out there to a couple friends, and somebody else had sent that out there that went on a national email list to all these shows, that email. But I had shared that with a couple other shows and said, hey, this is a great email we got. You guys might have some good use out of it because it's a really good scenario. And so other shows will do that. Sometimes we get emails, that they'll have. So we will share stuff to try to have great content on nonstop.
I'm all cool with sharing and collaborate. I think that's good for the creative process. I just don't like copy and paste. In my personal opinion, I've just seen and heard too much in radio. That's what I don't like about the business. There's too much copy and paste.
Yeah. So our best stuff, we go pretty much on what we're doing. And Ashley said, Dave Ryan is awesome. He's in Minneapolis. So you'll hear a lot of stuff. Dave and I were good friends, and he was really kind of one of the reasons why I got into radio. And so we'll share a lot of stuff. In fact, it was Dave. I sent him this. I'm like, hey, check out this email. And he always sends me stuff. And, so we hear Dave's emails and stuff like that on our show and vice versa.
A lot of people are making some good points, too. Because a lot of people don't like that bit either. They're expressing that. To their point, sometimes it's not up to the people on the air. Their bosses are cramming it down. And if you're new in the business and you don't have any kind of leverage, you have to do that shit.
Yeah, when you don't. And when we went to Miami, we had lost a lot of leverage because we were new to a big part of the market. And, here we're fortunate because, we don't really have to deal with management trying to cram things down our throats. They're like, hey, you guys are doing great, and you do what you do. In other situations, some shows just got to take it.
Well, we didn't want to be pricky right off the bat and say, we're not doing that. We're like, oh, fuck, all right, yeah, sure, we'll try it. Oh, this isn't starting off great.
And most times the manager that's trying to help you has never done morning radio.
Has never cracked a microphone.
It's really a weird psychosis where these dudes that aren't funny, could never carry a show on their own, are now teaching you and trying to tell you what you should do on your show. And you're like, dude, I don't think that's a good idea.
I've got some 55-year-old fuck dude trying to tell me what a 28-year-old woman wants to hear. I'm like, wait, what? Where
Yeah.
did you read that at?
Right. So
It happens every day all over this country in radio, and it sucks.
yeah.
It does.
So that was a little bit of the behind the scenes. Always happy to let you know what's going on. Nate had said, I wonder if Kev was on the radio at Z100 in the 90s. I probably listened to him if he was on then too. Yeah, I just worked promotions. I only was on that radio station one time, and that's why I did bungee jumping. They put me on for that, and I did that because I was afraid of heights. Yeah,
You were actually on the air?
That was the only time because the program director hated me. And he walked me in the first day into the studio, and he's like, he called me Ohio because I was straight in from Ohio, and I was so impressed. You know, Z100 is a massive station, biggest station in the country in New York City. And he walked me in the studio, and he said, "You see this, Ohio?" He said, that's Manhattan. And they had a big picture of the downtown. It was in Secaucus, New Jersey at the time. And he said, "All right, well, that's New York." And he said, "You're never going to sniff this microphone. Get the fuck out of this studio. I better never see you in here again." And he was telling us, like, nobody put Ohio on the radio. This kid's dumb.
Why, though?
He just, I don't know what it was. He just was.
He had a boner for you.
He just was, and every day, for some reason, he found me out immediately, and he would just terrorize me. And I remember I would hear these like, "Hey," I hear it over the intercom. "Hey, the Ohio in the building, tell him to get in my office and clean my trash can."
Damn.
And I was in there cleaning his trash can. I had to go clean the wheels on his personal car every day. Like, it was like a summer of hazing. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
That shit would not fly in 2021.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it today.
He would be. He would lose his job for that.
Is he still working in radio? I know who it is you speak of.
I do too.
I don't know what he's doing where he is. I think he owns a station that's in St. Augustine and another one. His wife is still on the radio with Scott Shannon. Patty Steele's her name.
Okay.
And Patty was on at Z100 when I was there, and so she's over with Scott Shannon now on CBS FM.
Was he not? Was he messing with you? Or
I think he was just messing with me, but he loved trolling me so hard. And I'd tell the other guys in promotion, like, why does this guy have such a boner for me? Like, he is just terrorizing me every day. And like, I don't know. They're like, he actually, I think he likes you, but he just every day, I was hiding from this guy nonstop.
So he terrorized you, didn't help you with your career, but I'm just joking around. Actually, you're just kind of a cock.
He would bring me in, and we'd have these events, and this is what he'd do on promotions, and he would always pull me out. Like, there's 4 other promotions people. Get the fuck over here, you stupid motherfucker. And he'd be like, and he would do this thing like he was framing with his 2 thumbs out, with his hands up, and he'd look around and be like going, "You see, imagine if I'm like People Magazine, and I'm shooting right here." He said, "Can you tell me what I don't see?" And I'd be like, "I don't know, Steve. What do you not see?" He's like, "I don't see a fucking Z100 banner." And he's like, "If they take a photo and it winds up in People Magazine and there's no Z100 behind it, I'm going to kick your ass all the way back to Ohio, you son of a bitch." I was like, "Okay, sure, right away, Steve, I'll get a banner up." And so that's why when I was working the Jingle Ball and Green Day was there, I had to handle Green Day, which he gave me Green Day because I think he knew what dicks they were.
Green Day doesn't like Z100 banners.
So I put up flawlessly. Their dressing room is full of Z100 banners, and as soon as Green Day gets in there, they start ripping them off the walls. You're like, "Fuck corporate radio, man."
Yeah, corporate radio.
Yeah. And so they're ripping it, and I'm trying to put them up, and I'm fighting with Trey Cool, the drummer. I'm trying to put them up, and he's trying to rip them down. And we had this nonstop fight that was going on, and he pulls me aside. He's like, "You better stay on Green Day because they're a headliner. If you fuck up, you'll never work in radio again."
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm like,
You're going to control Green Day.
the whole day, I'm supposed to keep Green Day under wraps. And at the end of the whole Jingle Ball, I'm down there because we had these little, headphones on in the radios. And somebody's like, "Kev, you got to come down here. Courtney Love is showing her beaver off to everybody down in the VIP suites." I go down, and she's on the grand piano, and she's showing off her beaver. And so I get down too late. I didn't get to see us. I just got second word. But there was a huge escalator at Madison Square Garden, and I'm coming down it, and she's crawling up the middle. And I see her, and I just kind of like, "Ugh," because she's whacked out of her mind. And she looks at me and goes, and hits you.
She hissed at
Courtney
you.
Love hisses at me like a cat. And right then I'm like, what the hell is going on? And at that point I'm like, "Where's Kevin?" I'm like, "I'm right here. What's going on?" Like, "Oh,
I'm getting hissed at.
they're like, Green Day is naked on stage. You have to." I go up there, and they got their full dicks out on stage in Madison Square Garden. I'm like, "I'm never working in radio again." I'm like,
How would you stop Green Day?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
what are you
know
gonna
what
do?
I was supposed to do. All I knew was
Green Day took off all their clothes.
I know was I was supposed to keep them under wraps, and they have their dicks out in front of kids in Madison Square Garden. And I'm like, it's over for me. I'm like, I'm never going to work in this industry. It's just done. It's done, and this guy could do it. And that wound up in People magazine.
Wow.
And you know what? There was no Z100 banner behind him. Not my fault. So there you go.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's kind of shitty, though, how he treated you. That's not cool. It's one thing to rib somebody, but you have to let somebody know that you're ribbing them. If not, you're just an asshole.
Yeah, it was, and I never really knew. I could never tell. I'm like, is this guy completely hating me? And to this day, I don't know. It'd be interesting to talk. He probably would not even remember me at all because it's over 20 years.
I think he would probably remember if he called you Ohio that much.
Yeah.
And singled you out on that level.
Yeah.
He would probably remember if you went and said, hey, Kingston,
Do you
I'm
remember
Ohio.
from 94,
Yeah.
95?
You remember me?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was definitely an interesting stuff. And Laugh with Eric said, Z100 Acoustic Christmas. That's what it was then. And it then turned into Jingle Ball. So that started out as an acoustic Christmas. And then that's how it all began.
Man, what a
great story.
What a story, huh?
I love that.
Oh, radio days, man. Radio days.
I
Been a
love
fun
it.
ride. Yeah, that's right. So happy anniversary, Virginia. 22 years.
Whew.
Yeah.
I feel it.
All right. Well, you guys have a fantastic Mother's Day weekend. We'll see you back here Monday.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.